How's it going, everybody? Thanks, Pete, for letting me know that I just didn't turn on my mic. This is why I need Andrew to show up. Hopefully you can hear me now. So yeah, I put together a sketch, kind of ran across some Loop on the Third stuff, found some things that I wanted to do, like anyways, this is where I'm at. I don't know if Andrew will show up. If he does, I'll get him in here. If not, then you're just stuck here with me. But my plan is to try and keep this from just becoming like a sketch that I never finish. So I'm gonna just be working on this. So feel free to, I guess since Andrew's not here to chat with, feel free to chat or whatnot. But yeah, hope everybody's doing well. Let's do. Oh, I don't really. So like I said, this really originally started off as like a Loop on the Third One Piece thing, and since Loop On's crew only has 4 people in it, it worked out until I realized I just completely forgot like the timeline of East Blue. And so I need to fit Usopp in here. And this is like the only spot for him. But it's throwing everything off. Let's see here, give me 1 second. But yeah, it originally started with a Luffy Jigen comparison with the hat. And then I was like, oh, I can make Smoker Zenigata. And there I found like a little car thing, or a car illustration that I was like, I can put the Merry-Go in there. And it all kind of fell together until Luffy's crew had 5 and Loop On said 4. So yeah. So he's just kind of here. Alright, we'll fix him up another time. I just needed to get him in there for completion's sake. Hello, Dad. Or parents. Looks like I found the day that everyone can make it. It's close. Well, shit, I wish Andrew was here so that I wasn't just so quiet. He's missing out. Thank you. We won't do that.
Oh, I should relook at this.
Oh wait, this isn't this. What is... Oh, I see. Whoops. Yeah, how's that tangent? You'll love to see it. So this is One Piece. This is like the big. It might be the biggest. So when I was growing up, Dragon Ball Z was huge, and this is kind of the next big big thing in that. So I'm not going to jump into like the entire history of all this stuff, but this is this might be the highest selling media franchise. No, that's not true. It's really big. It just recently came out. I mean, I guess recently is like 5 months ago. There's 1,000 chapters. It's one of the longest running. Comics out of Japan about like a pirate crew. And it's like really easy to like explain this stuff, but no offense, like you're my parents and I don't really know like how to explain it. It's just like, it's like Dragon Ball Z, but now it's in after that. I think it started in like 2004. It's still going. And this is like an early part of that. I'm drawing an earlier like story part of it, or there's more characters in it now and stuff like that. But essentially the point is it's like a golden age of piracy, and this guy is the captain, and he finds like a cat burglar and a cook and like a pirate hunter, and then this guy is just like, he's like the marksman in a weird way, and at least in the first part, this guy works with like the government and he's trying to capture him. But this guy's a captain. He has like, he can stretch, he has rubber powers and stuff like that. So there's all these, like, they call them devil fruits. I said I wasn't going to get into this stuff, but here we are. I wasn't talking anyways. The big thing is, like, devil fruits, which when you eat them, you lose the ability to swim, but you gain, like, these weird powers. So, like, he has the power to stretch, and he's rubber and stuff like that. And then, like, this guy can turn into smoke and stuff like that. Nobody else, at least at this point, has any powers or anything like that. But essentially there's like one, it's called the One Piece. It's like the previous like pirate king or whatever, he was like the greatest pirate ever, and his treasure's out there. And when he was executed, like the government executed him to be like, okay, no more pirates. And then he's like, well, my treasure's still out there. And so everybody was like, we should be pirates and find this treasure that's called the One Piece, hence the name. And so, yeah, that's a low rundown, I guess. But yeah, I'm sure there's some sort of, let me see here. Let me do a quick, I'm sure something says something. Oh no, it started in 97. It made it over to the US in 2004, I believe. It has the highest initial print run of any book in Japan. It has set the Guinness World Record for the most copies published for the same comic book series by a single author. 480 million copies in circulation in 43 countries, making it the best-selling manga series in history. It became the best-selling manga for the 11th consecutive year in 2018, and is one of the highest-grossing media franchises of all time. Only behind... Well, I guess not only behind, because there's a lot here. Where is it on here? This says it is fairly far... Yeah, it's fairly far down. 5... 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. The 45th highest grossing media franchise of all time. It is higher grossing than Star Trek, Thomas and Friends, Jurassic Park, Angry Birds, all these things with an estimated, what is it? Where'd it go? Estimated $11.4 billion. The highest grossing is Pokemon with an estimated $100 billion. And as I said last night, $1 billion is a ton of money. And for comparison to something you said you vaguely recognize from my childhood, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Dragon Ball Z is 14th on the list at $27.7 billion, right after Batman. So, there you go. Bunch of crap nobody cares about. Some people care about it. Oops. But yeah, and then this is the, I guess, like, initial crew and the initial ship. It is so long. So I liked it when it first came out in 2004. I read it through Shonen Jump and really liked it. I tried to pick it up maybe 10 years ago. Dropped off again, made it about, I don't know, 500 chapters in. I don't even think that. I have no concept of time and chapters. Maybe I made it to 400 chapters, and then I don't think it was a COVID thing, but at some point, I think when it was getting close to 1,000, I was like, I want to be a part of that. And I always liked One Piece, and so I sat down, and like, that's what I did. I just read, like, I tried to read 50 chapters. Well, I maybe tried to read 100 chapters a week, and I tried to read like 25 chapters a day, which sounds like a lot. Manga reads fast. Some chapters are wordy in One Piece, but it's I won't deny it. It's daunting, but it's not too bad of a read. A lot of it reads fast. I mean, it was always something I liked. I think you'd like it, Pete. Andrew doesn't love it. Andrew wants to be a part of it, but he thinks it's a little... He's not as invested in the world as I am, which I think one of the best things it does is the world. I think a lot of the characters are a ton of fun and stuff like that. He doesn't really agree with some of that. So he wants to read it just to, like, talk about it with me. And, I mean, it is a big thing. It's, you know... Regardless of what I think about it, you can't deny that, like, hey, Andrew might be in the wrong if everyone likes it. But granted, we're also not the target audience. It's for, like, 14-year-olds. But granted, it was for 14-year-olds, like, 30 years ago. Not that it super grows up with its audience, but it does a little bit. But I would recommend it. I mean, it's fantastic. I would read it. I would not watch it. I have heard that the anime has gotten better, but I've heard the pacing in the anime is terrible. A lot of it was an anime from like the late 90s, and so there's a lot of trappings with that, and there's not great animation and stuff like that. It's gotten better, but I tend to just I'd rather read than watch at this point. Well, it also doesn't help that it was like four kids licensed it, and so there's a lot of problems there. They didn't have a ton of great like dubbing and translation processes, so that probably did not help it. But yeah, I would talk to Andrew, or look into like the Shonen Jump app, and that's where I read it, and that's where I read it. And if you read it, I would love if you read it, Pete, because a ton happens. Like I said, I'm chapter 1012 comes out today. There's a lot of stuff that I remember. There's a lot of stuff that just kind of like gets pushed aside, and I'd love to kind of reminisce with somebody else reading it again, or reading it for the first time, and just be like, oh yeah, like that was so cool, or stuff like that. So if you do, hit me up and we'll chat. But I would certainly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. He does a lot of... One of the things I love about like manga and stuff, Japan, from my experience, tends to have a bit of a... They're not really... A lot of the ideas are weird. And unabashedly so, and I like that. I like, superheroes are cool. That's kind of like the big American comic. I say that coming from someone who... When I read comics more, I read a lot of indie stuff, which was not superheroes, and tended to be a little bit weirder. I gravitate towards those kind of weird stories, and like he has Oda has a bunch of weird characters in One Piece. There's a lot of like fun world building. It's nice that since it's like a pirate thing, they're just kind of like sailing around and going to just weird place after weird place. And he kind of gives himself the ability to kind of do whatever he wants. There's like a kind of like a horror-y chapter or arc. There's kind of like there's a bunch of cool stuff with the world government and characters there. There's a lot of like one of the things I love about it is that the world kind of keeps on spinning. It's not like with Dragon Ball Z. It was like, here's the main character, and then a bad guy shows up, and then they fight the bad guy for like 100 episodes. This is a lot of just like, the crew goes to an island, there's something going on there, and they kind of just like get entangled with that. It's not like they show up, and now it's a problem. There's like, these islands have history to them, it seems, which is really fun. But yeah, I don't know. It's good. It's filled with fun characters with fun powers. It's not perfect. I actually was kind of getting tired. There's some parts, and some of it might be because I've read it before, and so I was trying to get to new stuff. some stuff I remember reading the first time and thinking it was like a little slow, and I was just wanting to get through it. On a second read, it read a little better. Some stuff on a second read read a little worse. I think there's some pacing issues here and there with the manga of just like, all right, I'm ready with that. But I also think some of that is just like, it is a battle manga, and I think it goes more into other stuff. It's a fun adventure and things like that. But I am no longer the target audience to just like flip through chapters and chapters and chapters of people like punching each other in the face anymore. And it does. I mean, it's a shonen battle manga, but that's not all of it. And honestly, there is a point in like chapter 1000, a big thing happens, and it basically culminates, like most battle manga do, it culminates in like a punch to somebody, like somebody punches somebody in the face. And I was reading stuff online, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the craziest, like after 1,000 chapters, here we are. And I was just like, a guy got punched in the face, who cares? 10 to 12 chapters later, I'm kind of like 12 years old again, and like kind of getting into the shonen battle manga stuff. So that's that. Yeah, definitely let me know if you read it, Pete, because I would definitely be on board with talking, as you can probably tell. Also, that was good because now I'm talking. Before I was just sitting here doing nothing. Well, not talking. Let me bring up this reference again. And like, there's stuff that Andrew is interested in with it, but he has to make it to those points. And like, he knows, I don't know how much you know of it, Pete. He knows kind of like big moments, which I don't think, you know, even if you know some of the bigger things that happen, I don't think it's necessarily not worth reading. But he's kind of waiting on something, like there's something he's really interested in that he wants to get to, but it's kind of out there. It's kind of, you know, it's a long series. Yeah, like I said, talk to Andrew about it. And if you're, I don't know how much in the manga you still are or anything like that, but the Shonen Jump app is good if you kind of want to get back into it or whatnot. There's a lot there. I've been kind of rereading some stuff that I haven't read in a long time, and new stuff and things like that, so. Yeah, and Kirsten liked it. She used to read my Shonen Jumps, and that was one of the few series she liked, which I think is high praise, since she hates like all of them. She is definitely not the target audience for Shonen battle manga. But yeah, I've been trying to get her to pick it back up, and she's like, probably in the summer. So we'll see if that happens. But I have a friend who's really big into it, and he was kind of one of the reasons I started talking about it with him. And now each week or whatever, I'll text him, and I'm just like, okay, here we are. This is good stuff, and kind of talking to him. And I kind of did what I want somebody to do to me, where I was reading it and he was just like, oh yeah, that was sweet, and kind of reliving it through me. Oops. So all this music in here is stuff just like Creative Commons stuff that I just tried to find like generic like a couple different styles for whatever. And I don't think I've listened to them, honestly. I just throw them on because I feel like people would rather some sort of background music. I have no idea. I think Kirsten's mentioned it's loud before. I've tried to change, like fix it and stuff like that. I don't know if it's still loud. I don't know if people like it. It just is what it is. I can turn it off. I got no ill will towards that. That was kind of the goal, is to just have something that it wasn't ever just like pure silence. Whether or not that's a good or bad thing, other people can decide that. Whatever. Nope. I'm like cruising on this, so I feel like I shouldn't stop now, but I'm also just like, yeah, I could stop now. Thank you, you too. Alright. It doesn't really matter if nobody can tell what's going on in there, because I can't. Alright, well, I think I'm gonna call this here. Probably jump back in it next Sunday. It's going pretty well. So, thanks for hanging out. It was neat to see a bunch of concurrent viewers and stuff like that. So, thanks again as always. It was nice to have a little little conversation without Andrew here. So, I mean, I guess it would have been cool to have Andrew here, but it wasn't as bad as I expected, just because got to kind of explain One Piece to my parents and recommend it to a buddy. So that was good. I at least had things to talk about. Anyways, so if you liked it, tell a friend. If you didn't like it, lie to a friend. Check out the links in the description below. That's all our social media and everything. Interact with those. Like, smash, bell, subscribe, all those things. It'll let you know when we're going live next. It'll also, well, that's it. Which I think is tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, should be some more Arkham Horror the card game. So stop in there if you want to see that. Then Wednesday, I believe we're finally doing Beyond the Sun. We were trying to do that a while ago. I haven't had time to sit down and read the rules and stuff like that. So as long as Josh is available, we should be doing that Wednesday. And then, of course, another episode of the Watchers of Earth 199,999. That's the podcast Andrew and I do, where we are watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe and talking about that. So check that out. And that should cover the week. So thanks again. Have a good rest of your day, and I will hopefully catch you next time. Thanks again. Bye.